What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Jagan Gaming. So Disney has cited that the poor performance and reception of The Last Jedi and Solo has caused them to pretty much put the movie franchises on hold, and they're also going to be resetting Star Wars. Now, we pretty much already knew that about the movies that got announced a few months ago, that a lot of those movies that they had planned were pretty much canceled. So we had the Boba Fett movie, which no one really wanted, similar to Star Wars. I was not excited about that at all. The only movie I really was excited for was the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and I honestly am not sure if that was official. I believe it was officially canceled, but according to Rebel Scum, which is a Star Wars fan site, Disney has put pretty much the movie after episode 9, the movie franchise is pretty much on hold. Okay, and Disney states their motivation behind this decision was to refocus their expenditures and to limit Star Wars exposure. Now, keep in mind, the original plan was to have a Star Wars movie every year. Like every December, there was going to be a Star Wars movie. And I was really excited for that because I felt like, okay, we're gonna see all these backstories. We're gonna see, all that stuff that got moved to the that was the expanded universe, which is now Legends. They're gonna pull a lot of that stuff out of Legends and make it canon again. I was kind of hoping for maybe a Old Republic type movie or something of that nature, hopefully. But they have nixed that plan. They're not going to do that. And a lot of people felt that having a Star Wars movie come out every year would be bad for the franchise, because then everyone's going to get bored and tired of it if you had a Star Wars movie coming out every year. Now, once Rogue One came out, and in all honesty, Rogue One is the only movie of between The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Solo. Rogue One is the only new Star Wars movie that I truly enjoyed. That's the only movie that I was just blown away, while I was sitting in the theater. Okay, when I went to go see The Force Awakens, I enjoyed it, but I had just like a lot of other people, I had a lot of issues with it. I'm like, okay, a lot of this shit doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know where you guys are going with this, but okay, I still enjoyed it though. And then of course The Last Jedi, which was a complete clusterfuck. And Solo, I went into Solo, trying to keep an open mind. I thought to myself, what, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. Let's, give it a try. And of course it was abysmal. So the main reason also, like I said earlier, their motivation was to refocus expenditures and to limit Star Wars exposure. Okay, keep in mind, that is the reason they're refocusing, their expenditures and everything. People talk with their wallets. That is the language that these corporations understand. Excuse me. Okay, so all these large companies and corporations like Disney, EA, Blizzard, Bethesda, they're all those companies, they're learning these lessons the hard way. They're learning what happens when you piss off the fan base. Okay, these people speak with their wallets. Okay, that's what gets people's attention. Okay, when their stock plummets, when they lose billions of dollars of revenue, when those shareholders and investors are pissed off because they're losing money. Okay, that's what gets the attention of the CEOs and all those other big wigs in these. And, it's like when Kathleen Kennedy, that's why she got horsewhipped by the, Disney CEO. Okay, yet we're still stuck with it. But the main thing is that Disney wants to allow the fan base to be able to heal. Now, this to me was kind of interesting. What are we healing from? Okay, do we really need time to heal? I mean, it's been a year since The Last Jedi came out. Okay, and a lot of people, they were so turned off to Star Wars, from The Last Jedi that when Solo came out, They already had a bad taste in their mouth. Okay, so what are we healing from? Okay, maybe we're healing from the fact that you put a bunch of social justice in these movies. You put identity politics. You put feminism in the movies. Maybe we need to heal from the fact that you completely destroyed a beloved franchise. Okay, a franchise that has been around since the late 70s. Okay, something that now you're probably into 3 or so generations of Star Wars fans. This is something we share with our kids, so it's something that's really important to a lot of us. Okay, maybe it's because you blame the fan base for your failings. Okay, and if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when someone does not take accountability. I cannot stand that shit. Okay, if I had one thing that I had to pick that I cannot stand, that's it. When someone cannot accept responsibility for their actions, because if you can't take accountability and cannot take responsibility for your actions, then how are you going to fix the problem? Okay, that's just the way I look at it. Okay, and what we really need is, we don't need time to heal. We need an apology. That's what we need. Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, you know what? You guys fucked up. All right, you fucked up, plain and simple. And what you guys need to do is just say, you know what, guys, we're really sorry. We didn't get it right. You know what? What can we do to assure you that we're gonna fix this? And just give us a chance, and we'll win you back. That's all you got to do. And just don't repeat what you did in Solo and The Last Jedi. Leave the feminism and the social justice at home. Don't put it in the damn movies. Okay, Star Wars fans are just, I don't even have words for how, where the Star Wars community is at right now. But what's really funny, it's funny that they say, well, the fans need time to heal. Well, in a way, we kind of are healing, and we're doing it by making our own fan-based movies. We're doing it by making our own. There's a YouTube channel called Star Wars Comics, and they just recently announced, and I announced this in my last video, they are building basically a fan version of Star Wars 1313. And Star Wars 1313 was canceled back in 2012. Okay, the problem is that the Star Wars fan base is so starved for a good Star Wars game. We're starved for a good Star Wars movie, that story. Okay, where you have the heroes, the fight of good versus evil that a lot of us face in our daily lives, sometimes. That we have gotten to the point to where we have looked at, Disney and realized, you know what, you guys just have lost it. Fuck it, we're gonna do it ourselves, and that's what we're doing. There's someone who's making, I believe, a fan-based Vader film, and like I said, Star Wars Comics, and I'll leave the description, I'll leave a link in the description like I did in the last video if anyone's interested and you want to go over there and check it out. But we've basically said, fuck it, we're gonna do it ourselves. Okay, we've pretty much already gotten past the whole being hurt and healed, and now we're just at the point where we're doing it ourselves. You've got people, making their own movies, and you've got people making their own Star Wars games. Okay, and really stop and think about it. When was the last time we had a really good Star Wars game? Really stop and think and ask yourself that question. Okay, no, Battlefront, that came out in 04. Battlefront 2, I believe, came out in 05, 06 time frame. You had the Rogue Squadron series, that came out in 98, and then the sequel, I think, in 01, and then the third one came out in 03. Okay, that was back when I had my GameCube. And then, of course, you had Knights of the Old Republic, which came out in 03, and the sequel, Knights of the Old Republic 2, which came out in 05. And then you also had Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which came out in 02. So, and this is just my own personal opinion, okay? So, take it with a grain of salt. But basically, between 98 and 2005, that was the last time, in my opinion, that we got a good Star Wars game. To be frankly honest with you. Okay, when Rogue One came out, in my opinion, that was the last good Star Wars movie that we got. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the prequels. Out of the prequels, I liked Revenge of the Sith was the only one I really, halfway liked. And like I said, The Force Awakens, it was good, but, I had some issues with it. Rogue One, in my opinion, that's the only movie that has come out since the sequel that, to me, was good. And we're just starved. We're starved for that good Star Wars game. We're starved for that good Star Wars movie. And in my opinion, that's how the fan base is healing itself. Okay, we've lost faith in Disney. We've lost faith in Lucasfilm. We've lost complete faith that you guys can deliver. So we're doing it ourselves. So, since the failure of The Last Jedi, the Disney CEO Bob Iger, he also stated that, like I said, Star Wars movies are going to be slowed down, but they are going to focus on the TV shows. And we've got The Mandalorian, which, okay, I'm going to give that a shot. It did pique my interest. And they're also doing a Rogue One prequel, which I cannot think of the guy's name. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't think of the guy's name who's in it, but he was part of the crew, and he's getting his own kind of a spin-off. Okay, and then of course you got Star Wars Resistance, but that's just a crock of shit. I mean, that's just god awful. It's just, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's just awful. Okay, I'm hoping there is not another season, because season 1 to me was just garbage. But that's just and in a way, it kind of also tells me that Disney is finally recognizing that, okay, we gotta fix this. We've got a no shit problem on our hands. Okay, we need to reorganize. They're halting movie productions there, because there was supposed to be a whole nother trilogy that was supposedly being made that had nothing to do with the Skywalkers or anything. Honestly, right now, I don't know what's going on with that, if that got canceled as well or got put on hold. But just the fact that they're having to reset Star Wars, they're putting the movie franchises on hold, they're refocusing on TV shows, they're refocusing on their expenditures, and they're limiting Star Wars exposure, because this is all the damage that The Last Jedi and Solo did to the franchise. Okay, and they're finally, in my opinion, they're kind of finally waking up. This is probably the closest we're going to get to some kind of apology from them. But to be frankly honest, I don't see Rian Johnson or Kathleen Kennedy, unless they've already done it, and I honestly just don't know about it. I don't see them standing up saying, hey guys, sorry, we fucked up, but we'll fix it, just give us a chance. I don't see that happening, and to me, this is probably the closest we're going to really get, to somebody giving some kind of half-ass apology. And I did my last video on Star Wars 1313, and I received a few emails from people, and some people posted messages on the video, and I received a couple of emails from people as well, and they just asked, do you think that Disney is going to shut this down? I said, pretty good chance they might, and then someone else commented in my email that if Disney doesn't stop, maybe EA would stop them, considering how EA, they have the license to make Star Wars movies. And I thought, oh wow, I didn't really think about that. I don't know if EA could, even if Disney doesn't say something, would EA say something, since they've got the license to make those games. So I mean, it could happen, and yeah, there's a very good chance Disney could shut that shit down, just like they did the Knights of the Old Republic, remastered that Aperion was making. But just the fact that somebody is willing to stand up and say, you know what, guys, you're not giving us what we want, so you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself, and I'm gonna give to the fan community what you're failing to do. The fact that this person is willing to stand up and do that, they will have my respect, because at any time Disney or God forbid EA or whoever could kick his door in with a cease and desist letter. Just the fact that he's willing to, you know, attempt that, then he has my respect, and I'll do whatever I can do to support that project. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole, you know, issue where they're halting production and shit. And again, I'll put a link in the description for the Star Wars 1313 YouTube channel, that, you know, and you can get what the little information that is out. But anyway, let me know what you think. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time.